Hey guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. The goal of this channel is to get you in that group of people that actually make money, hopefully life-changing gains. But the truth is, 90% of everyone investing in crypto lose money, and we're going to try to change that if we have our way. Now, it's not financial advice, but guys, I don't always tell you what you want to hear because crypto is complex and there's a lot of moving parts, and most people have not spent the time or the effort to zoom out and even figure out who all the players are. Now, I can tell you for a fact, Crypto Week has changed almost everything you thought about altcoins, altcoin seasons, your favorite project, and everything. Because now that the regulation is here, Wall Street is starting to show their cards. Now imagine, guys, if you were investing in a DeFi token, just as an example, your favorite project, and you hear all this amazing stuff. It probably sounds pretty sexy, but wouldn't you want to compare to, say, 25 other projects? Especially the projects that are the most dominant players on the planet, right? If you're talking about DeFi, well, who has all the customers? BlackRock, JP Morgan, companies like that. So wouldn't you like to figure out what they're up to? And in this video, we're going to talk about what's really happened for the big picture in the last couple of weeks since Crypto Week. And we're going to talk about altcoin season. We're going to talk about what I really believe that this is going to be an extended cycle, and we may have certain Wall Street tokens that Wall Street's investing in that get out of the cycle totally. But that being said, I believe that like 98% of these altcoins are definitely going to get crushed after altcoin season, and I think they will have an altcoin season, but it probably won't be as powerful for the majority of tokens as you think they are. And the reason I mention all this, guys, is how do you know or get a game plan of taking profits if you don't have a good, zoom out view of what the big picture looks like? So we're going to go through 9 different DeFi tokens that are connected heavily with some of the power players on Wall Street. So there's a ton of alpha, and we're going to go through 9 different charts. And some of these projects you may want to invest in. I have 1 or 2 that are really, really good. And we're going to kick it off talking about ETHENA. And as you know, it's been doing extremely well, and I'm going to explain that to you. Now, right now, the crypto market is doing well, really well. I can't be more bullish. I'm still not quite there for altcoin season yet. I wouldn't be surprised if we get, a good pullback out of nowhere, especially on the stock market, before everything goes crazy. Because, we still have the tariffs and wars and stuff like that out there, the interest rate issues. So they could, the Wall Street could just take their profits at any time, tell you a sexy story, stock market crashes, altcoins crash, everything crashes. But then, guys, the money printer really kicks on, the tariffs get clarified, and guys, I can't be more bullish. I truly believe everything's going to be on fire. It's just a matter of time, whether it's this month, next month, 3 months from now, or even a year. But it's all coming together. I'm extremely bullish, but the game is changing so fast it blows me away. And I know I keep harping on taking profits and making these videos about alpha, But guys, there's so much misinformation that I see every day because people literally have no idea who the competition for these altcoins are. They've never even heard of the blockchains that are already dominating layer ones, and people don't even know about it. Everyone just talks about Solana and Sui and Ethereum, but no one talks about blockchains like JP Morgan's blockchain, that if it was a blockchain, it would be like in the top 3. But it's not, because there's no token and no one knows about it. It's a permission blockchain, but it's still taking up market cap, right? Or it's taking money from the pie that should be going into standard layer ones that we have access to. So this is really important information. All right, so here's what kicked off this long 5, 6, 7 hours deep dive, right? Because we've been hearing, we know about Michael Saylor. Everyone knows about Michael Saylor and Bitcoin and the treasuries. Not all the Wall Street, but 200 companies around the world are starting to do the Michael Saylor thing. And then someone said, well, I'm going to do the Michael Saylor thing with Ethereum. And then someone said, I'm going to do the Michael Saylor thing with XRP. Then someone said, I'm going to do the Michael Saylor thing with Solana. So guys, the game's changing. And the difference is, and I've said this since my very first videos, retail don't pick winners and losers. The legacy banks, Wall Street, and the governments, primarily the U.S. government, pick the winners and losers. And you got to think, guys, everyone that will ever watch this channel, if we put our entire net worth in together, it wouldn't even probably make up one big first buy for a big Wall Street like treasury type company. So you got to follow and understand what the dominant players are doing. So that being said, TLGY Acquisition Corp announced basically that they are going to throw $360 million into PIPE financing to form Stablecoin X. It's a company, and they're going to use ETHENA stablecoin model to basically do DeFi. Now, this is what I hope you get out of this video, outside of maybe some good projects, is, guys, there's projects like Caspa that were not set up for just the founders and the early investors to get bizarrely wealthy. But most projects, especially linked to a corporation, but even the foundations, they set it up to their advantage across the board. Now, that doesn't mean we can't do well, but we all get dumped on. And guys, this is a blood sport. When a major corporation or early investors like Chris Larson just dumped 180 million XRP at like 360 in a day, boom. Well, how many pockets bled to make him even more of a billionaire? And that's just an example. It happens across the board. So if you don't understand the tokenomics and what that means, you're just going to be exit liquidity. All right. So anyway, I said, all right, I knew about ETHENA. I looked at ETHENA when it first launched, and I loved everything about it, but it is not set up for me or you to win. Period. Has horrible tokenomics, and you can just smell, the blood that they're going to take from us by how it's set up. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make money. But here's the problem with bad tokenomics. Guys, a token can pump and pump and pump with bad tokenomics if the early guys don't dump. But we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know when they're going to do it. But we do know they're going to dump. It's just, are they going to wait till it goes to the absolute moon? Are they going to just dump all the way up and not care less? What are they going to do? So that's why, in my opinion, you have to understand tokenomics, and you got to take profits along the way. Because when they decide to take their profits, we're the exit liquidity. All right. Now, Converge, Athena, and Securitize all partnered together. Now, let me explain something about Wall Street, and then we'll get into those charts. But guys, you have to understand this stuff. Here's what Wall Street wants to do. And if you think about it, and you've been around a little while like I've been, it makes perfectly sense. Okay? You're not going to take over McDonald's because you have a better hamburger. You're not going to take over Starbucks because you make better coffee. And you damn sure not going to take over banking because you have a ledger or you have a little DeFi project. So, Wall Street has all this tech. It's just open source and code. There's nothing special about any of this tech that can't be copied, cloned, or whatever. Or just create a side chain, right? So we know that. So here's how Wall Street think. Okay, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, I just did a video on both of those. They both have their own blockchains. But think about it. Goldman Sachs has like 4 trillion under management. JP Morgan has, I think, 5.5, 5.9, something like that. So they're sitting there going, look, if we just tokenize, for example, and DeFi, whatever, our customers, we dominate. We will be the dominant player, right? So what they've done, they're all kind of converging together, just like how all the cryptos are EVM compatible. Why? They want access to Ethereum. Well, what does that do? It makes Ethereum more dominant. So the more Wall Street can partner with the people with the customers. See, like XLM doesn't have any customers to bring to Wall Street. JP Morgan doesn't need XLM's customers. They don't have any. Ripple doesn't have any. And I know people are going to say, oh, they can connect it with 400 banks. No, they don't have those as customers. They're just paying to use Ripple's supply. They're not DeFi customers. They may be turned into it, but they're not something that JP Morgan needs, or Goldman Sachs, or BlackRock need. See, Wall Street's plan is, hey, we got all the customers. We got all the power. We got unlimited money. We can get as many devs as we want. We'll just go create the best tech, clone it, copy it, or whatever. And we want to make all the money. All the money. Period. Every nickel, dime, and penny. So when you hear a partnership with something like XLM with JP Morgan or MoneyGram, that didn't move the needle. That's just a little bitty piece of the pie, because maybe they didn't want to do their own settlement, or they didn't want to create their own blockchain. But guys, I promise you, the big boys like Swift and JP Morgan and with Connexus and all that, they don't need any help. They don't care about us. They got all the money, all the resources, all the customers. All right, now check this out, because guys, there's about 10 different groups of Wall Street powerhouses. The JP Morgans with Circle and Connexus and BlackRock and Swift and MasterCard and Visa, R3/4. They're all getting together, because if they pump each other's DeFi, it just keeps going up, just like the stock market. All right, so Athena and Securitize have merged. Securitize is one of the most powerful entities in all of crypto. You can't buy a token, but when you're looking at DeFi and tokenized assets, that's the big boys like BlackRock. Okay, so Athena is partnered with them. Well, not only did they partner, then they said, well, we need our own blockchain. And they're going to launch Converge. Converge is not going to have a token, and it will dominate real world assets and DeFi. It's all but guaranteed. They have the customers. Now, the tokens we're going to talk about are these: AAVE, Ethereal, Euler, Maple, Morpho, PENDLE, which actually Ethereal doesn't have a token. Another example. But let's check something out. Let me read something to you. Introducing Converge, ETHENA Labs. ETHENA Labs and Securitize announced the upcoming launch of Converge, a new blockchain designed to support advanced DeFi and tokenized assets, developed jointly with ETHENA and Securitize. EVM blockchain optimized for both retail and institutional DeFi. And when you scroll on down, they've already minted over 2 billion in RWAs across multiple blockchains. And again, that's where they talk about PENDLE and AAVE and Morpho and Maple, which we're going to take a look at again. But when you go on down and read this, guys, they are connected with Wall Street. No token needed. Now check this out. If you go to convergeonchain.xyz and take a look at them, look what it says. The settlement layer for traditional finance and digital dollars, right? Institutional grade infrastructure. Let me see what else. BlackRock, Apollo, Hamilton Mill, KKR, Van Eyck. Guys, it's a powerhouse. It can't help but be successful. Now here's another thing. Go to securitize.io, the leader in real world assets. And they're just one of the leaders. But all the leaders will be permission blockchains by the dominant players in the world, not the ones we know and love, not Ondo, etc. Doesn't mean Ondo can't pump. I've talked about Ondo multiple times, but here's what I want to show you. See, you know, I used to work for Bear Stearns, and we'd bring companies public, which is an IPO. Guys, in my opinion, I don't know in the history of the world if like JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs or a Bear Stearns ever brought a company public that failed. It's probably the most guaranteed money I've ever seen in the world. It's more guaranteed than your paycheck. They kill to get those IPOs because they have all the customers. They make a phone call and it's like, hey, we're going to allow you to buy this pre-sale. Oh, please let me buy more. Nope, it's limited. It's a gift. It's free money. That's how they grow their books. But look what they're doing, guys. This is a mantle index fund, accredited investors only, minimum 100K. So two things you can take about that. See, if Wall Street has their way, everything we love about, you know, crypto, and you can just buy $10 worth and tokenize assets. See, all the good deals and the big bad deals, they don't want us to be able to do that. They still want to tokenize it and use the tech, but then they're going to try to make it for accredited people. They don't want you in on that new high-rise that's going to be the tallest building in New York City, maybe the world's tallest building, and you get a piece of the pie when that's tokenized. And that's the type of stuff they're going to be tokenizing. But they're going to tokenize it where they can control it, and they're not going to let us buy it. But we will be able to buy it after it's launched and after it's pumped. Now, I know people don't like me talking about JP Morgan, but again, guys, when you hear these people out there telling you that all the money's going to run on someone's rails, and you know who I'm talking about, and they're going to take over banking, and they could do this and they do that, guys, it's laughable. They're actually talking about solving a problem that JP Morgan has been working on for 6 or 7 years, and they have instant settlement. They're ISO certified. All this is coming, but look at this. Why JP Morgan started Connexus. Connexus is definitely one of the most powerful protocols in all of crypto. But look at this. See, no one reads this stuff. If they did, they wouldn't say the things they do. Of course you think that a project is going to they have a game plan and they're going to take over the world, and they want to do this, they want to do that. Well, what about the people they're up against? There's only one person going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm from Atlanta, but it won't be the Falcons. You know. But anyway, if you go down through here, it talks about the value proposition of blockchain for payments, why settlement needed a fix, JP Morgan's bet on blockchain. They talk about being the settlement layer. They talk about instant settlements. Right, guys? I mean, go read these type of things. They talk about the role in stable coins. See, Jamie Dimon talks bad about them on national TV. Meanwhile, they're right on top of it and have been. PayPal, guys, PayPal is becoming a power player. Now you have cross-border payments around the world through PayPal now. They've connected their interoperability, by the way, without Chainlink. MasterCard, Visa have their own blockchain, their own rails. Now, ETHENA. Guys, here's what, go to ETHENA, surf around, but in a nutshell, to just basically tell you what they're up to, and it's a phenomenal project. They are basically bringing different, ecosystems together, different blockchains like AAVE and Morpho, and you can basically, stake your Ethereum by, minting their stablecoin, their DeFi project. But look at these names, guys, like Copper. We talk about how, for example, Ripple is using Bank of Mellon to custody. Well, Copper's another one. But think about it, guys. Bank of Mellon is in on all this stuff. Well, why did Bank of Mellon, they didn't mention anything about Ripple. It's no big deal to them. That's just another small company that they'll escrow their money, right? But it was a massive deal for Ripple. Why? Because they're on two different levels. So I know people don't want to hear that, but those are the real players, and they're not going anywhere. But look at this, and we're going to talk about TON as well. TON partnered with ETHENA also, or ETHENA partnered with TON because they have all of the customers, billions of customers around the world, so they want to bring DeFi as simple as like email through the TON ecosystem. All right, now here's where the stuff gets good. And this is the part that you have to understand. I know people they hate me harping on this, but guys, if you don't understand tokenomics, you'll believe anything. And you won't take profits, and these tokens are guaranteed to dump until they get close to fully diluted. Then you got something. And again, any token can pump with the world's worst tokenomics. XRP is a perfect example. But what happens? They dump, and they will continue to dump because Ripple is not stupid. If you have billions and billions and billions of dollars just sitting there and you want to take that money and put it to more use, you're going to take some profits. You're going to dump. It's free money. But look at this. This is what I don't like about this project. It's got 3.6 billion market cap, but fully diluted. So that's what you need to look at. That means when they dump on me, if they dump right now, it would kill the price. We've got to they got to get to 8.6 billion as it sits right now just to suck up all the profits. Suck up all the supply. So that's more than double. So you have to have all that demand. And if they decide to dump today, this thing crashes. So, and then the higher it gets, the more they're going to start dumping and the more pressure is going to happen. And at one point, they're going to go, this is the best time to take it down. And that's why most altcoins with bad tokenomics are always going to have a cycle. So, I don't like the project. Now, I may swing trade it, especially if it crashes, because I think that's smart. But it's peaking right now. It's had a good little run. I couldn't imagine jumping into it. I may short it if it pumps a little harder. All right, Mantle. Think about it, guys. The blockchain for banking. Anyone ever knew that? No one talks about the blockchain mantle that's tied with some of the biggest players in Wall Street. No one talks about that. Go to their website, surf around. A world where finance is free, efficient, and accessible, powered by tokenized technology, right? Just scroll through there and see what they're up to. They got some big partners, and that one right there is the biggest. They're partnered with Bybit. Again, when you have partners like with Bybit, that means they get a huge, massive supply at a very small rate. And they already have profits, so they're going to take profits and dump on you throughout these markets. All right, let's look at the chart. Mantle's chart looks pretty good. The tokenomics aren't the worst I've ever seen, but, you know, 2.6 billion, fully diluted 4.8 billion. But the chart looks pretty good. And I meant to do this on ETHENA, but look at this. Price, market cap. See how much bigger and more aggressive that is? It's not massive, but let's go back to ETHENA. Look at the price. Look at the market cap, right? They've already been dumping. Not immensely, but they got a lot more to dump. All right. So I think Mantle is a pretty good play. I may swing trade it. A pullback would probably do really well because my educated guess is this thing has not hit a new all-time high for this bull run. Tron. I mean, this is a 1 month chart. Looks pretty good. And if you go back to the historical, I would say, again, if Tron has a good bull run, it probably hasn't hit an all-time high for this cycle either. But tokenomics, guys, they got so much ready to dump on you. Now, here's a good one. Now, again, it was on that list with Securitize. No one knows about it. I'd never heard of it, and I follow crypto as much as anyone I know. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but ETHENA, a lending super app, right? And again, Securitize, talk about them. That gets my attention. Backed by the best. That right there is one of the biggest players. Another big player, Coinbase. I'm surprised Securitize isn't on there. But let's look at the chart. Now this is low market cap. Come on, chart. What are you doing? Hold on, guys. This is a low market cap. This thing could run. 249 million market cap. But look at that yearly chart. That's probably, I mean, honestly, guys, think about it. Name a token that has a better chart from January 1. Most tokens are down 75% from the high of January and February. This thing has basically ran for the last year. And if you bought anywhere close to the bottom, I mean, that's about a 4 or 5x. If you bought down in here, let's see, that's about a 7-8x or 8 or 9x. Doesn't get much better than that, guys. And again, what am I always talking about? New projects never experienced a bull run in hot sectors. I think this thing could run, even if it goes to $1 billion market cap, that's pretty damn good, but it could go way higher than that. All right, Maple. I like Maple. I'm probably going to swing trade Maple, but look at this, guys. And let's look at this. They've been dumping. Look at the market cap. It's only 1 million. I mean, this is crazy high risk, but might be worth, taking a look at, but they've already dumped an immense amount of supply. So, the thing, when I see something like Maple, it just makes me think that it was set up for them, the early investors, the backers, and the developers all to make money. Now, AAVE. I've always known AAVE was going to be a powerhouse because JP Morgan, 3 years ago, when they were the first person to tokenize an asset that wasn't a stable coin. I think it was the Swiss franc, and they did it on AAVE. Now, that being said, I think AAVE will do well, okay, in the long term. It may stick around for 10 years, but again, guys, it's just software and code and tech. I think projects like AAVE is just a stepping stone. But look how good it's been doing for the last month. And then if you look historically, you know, it ripped in the last bull run. But again, I like new projects, never experienced a bull run. But look at the market cap. They've been dumping. But they're not almost fully diluted, but they haven't dumped so much that, I mean, market cap is 4.5 billion and fully diluted is 4.7 billion. So they don't dump aggressively, but you still have 70% of the tokens that could hit the market. All right, Morpho. Again, bad tokenomics. It's so far out of whack, I really don't want anything to do with it outside of a swing trade. But again, guys, the thing came out hot, and I would have no doubt it has not hit its all-time high, period. All right, PENDLE. PENDLE is a really, really good project. This is the historical. And here's one thing I like to see. If I'm going to deal with an old token, when I look back, the older tokens like Injective and Render, they not only hit a new all-time high, Solana, in their second bull run, they exploded, and they did it early. Now, that doesn't mean the older tokens can't hit an all-time high, but what are they waiting on, right? So, to me, the ones that came out and showed they can run, they did it early, and they didn't just like double, they exploded through their all-time highs. That's what you want to see. PENDLE, I'm not in love with the tokenomics, but let's see, fully diluted market cap. But I really believe it can run. All these projects, guys, I'm only looking to swing trade. Now, that being said, guys, if you need some help understanding all this stuff, I have Zoom call packages. I have a portfolio package where we walk through your portfolio and we talk about tokenomics and market cap, teach you how to compare, teach you how to dollar cost average. But no matter what, it helps you get a game plan. So that's 18 different videos and comes with a Zoom call. And guys, it's only $250. I really believe it'll pay for itself because you need a game plan, especially when it comes to taking profit. Now, if you watch this channel at all, you know I love to short. I will be shorting all these. I'm going to go through when this market is over and we know altcoin season's done and we're going into the bear market, and I'm going to find the ones with the worst tokenomics and ride them hopefully all the way to the bottom. I truly believe that shorting is the best way to make money in crypto. That's 75% of what I do. When things hit a new all-time high, I short them, whether it's Bitcoin, XRP, it doesn't matter. When things pump that can't maintain a pump, I short them. Now, that is going to start to slow down as altcoin season gets here, but I'm not convinced yet. I'm still looking to short that we're in altcoin season. But these are great swing trades, if nothing else. Anyway, guys, if y'all need some help, I also have an inner circle. So reach out and I'll pin the information down below. Just reach out and we'll talk about it. That being said, guys, I'm extremely bullish, but things are happening so fast, and Wall Street's going to come out with so many complex services to sell their customers to get people into crypto. I really don't think the masses are ever coming. I really don't. I don't see any of my friends, and I have some pretty well-off friends, I don't see any of them opening up, well, a few of them that I've talked into, but most of them are never going to open a wallet and buy a Bitcoin. They're just not going to do it. They'll call JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity, and just go, hey, buy me 5 Bitcoins and lock them away for me. They'll do that type of stuff, and then if they do well, maybe their investment advisor or whoever, I'll talk them into going into Solana or going into Ethereum or whatever. And they will if they've made money. But guys, most people that are wealthy, they're already wealthy. They're not looking for Lambos, right? They're looking to maintain their wealth first of all. So they don't like risk. People in cryptos are degen, and a lot of people don't have money. So they're trying to get that money, right? And I understand that. But guys, I truly believe everyone should go back and study the .com bubble. This is deja vu to someone as old as me. Guys, I'm telling you, in like 1999, if it said .com, it was ripping. There's, Silicon Valley kids were becoming millionaires, a few billionaires. Billionaires weren't even a thing in 2000, believe it or not. If you were worth $10 million, man, it made the news, right? But they just disappeared overnight. So out of thousands and thousands of IPOs, I actually went back and looked at all the top 100 IPOs in 1999, and which ones they were, and none of them exist anymore. None of them, not a single one. But here's what happened, and this is history, guys. That's why you got to know your history. What did we get? We got Amazon, Google, we got Microsoft, Apple. So the moral of that story is there's going to be a handful of winners that are just going to be the sinkhole for all the other projects. How many layer ones do we need? And right now, guys, no ifs and buts about it. There's Ethereum and Solana and Tron, right? And you got up and coming blockchains like Sui. But guys, if you think that these projects are going to maintain and keep doing well, this whole asset class is going to mature, and you'll be buying, a Solana index maybe in 5 years, definitely in 10 years, to hope to make, 25%, which most people will be doing backflips. We are so spoiled. We don't, guys, most people put in $1,000 in the stock market. For them to turn that into 10 grand, they're probably not going to do it in 10 years. People do that in crypto in 10 days and don't even take profits. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But anyway, guys, I'm extremely bullish. If you need some help, reach out. But hit the like button. Let me know in the comments section what you think. And if you're going to hate on me, guys, and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, why don't you prove me wrong? I'll be glad to do a video. I don't have to be right. I just want to be correct in my thinking. And what I see every day is here comes Wall Street, and they are going to dominate. No one's going to take from the big boys of the world. They have the tech, they have the customers, now they have the regulation. Here they come. And pre this bull run was the first time in history that retail has ever beat Wall Street and the wealthy people to the punch. It's the first time any average person had the chance to front run Wall Street. Think about the people that, especially like Bitcoin, think about the people that bought Bitcoin in 2017 and been buying all the dips. Even a guy that started out with 10 grand is nasty rich and is going to be extremely rich. And if he doesn't sell and he can just borrow against it, it's the first time we've ever had that kind of chance. Well, that chance is pretty much becoming to an end for 99% of most people. And I hate to say that, and that's why you need to take profits or you're going to become the prophets. I don't know why you got to twist someone's arm to get them to take profits. It's crazy. But guys, the people that are hodling, good luck. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. I really mean that. Outside of Bitcoin, you could talk me into maybe, Ethereum, you could justify that. Maybe Solana, you could justify it. But for the risk, it doesn't make any sense. The risk doesn't match. Because no matter what, in my opinion, even if Solana runs to 1,000, it's coming back way below where it is right now. I truly believe that. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum could run to 15K. It's coming back to 3. That's just the way it's going to happen. And, I do believe that Wall Street, it can prop these things up. But let me just tell you something, guys. A guy with $20 million, $50 million, $100 million that somehow decided to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum because of his stockbroker or his financial planner, and it drops more than 30%, he's like, pull the damn plug, I'm done. Right? It'd terrify Wall Street. The average person, again, millionaires, wealthy people, they don't need that kind of pain or headache. They don't have the stomach for it. Again, when they talk to a financial planner, 90% of those guys, now there's some big boys that just have crazy money and they throw money at and risk all the time, but for the average person that's wealthy and rich, they tell their financial advisor, make me as much money as you can without putting my net worth at risk. They don't say, oh, here's my net worth, go rock and roll. It's not how it works, guys. But Wall Street's here, and if you don't look at them, you're going to be just blindsided, because you're bringing a knife to a fight, and you thought it was a knife fight. It's a gun fight, and you don't even know which fight you're in. How can you honestly, guys, I say this with love, I'm going to let you go because I know I'm on a rant. How can you invest and tell me, look someone in the eye and tell you know the best project? If there's 25 projects and you cannot name those 25 projects, but someone that can name those 25 projects, that have researched all 25 and try to tell you, how are you going to tell them they don't know what they're talking about? That's the most crazy thing about being an influencer like me in crypto, guys. It's a crazy world. But that's why I do these videos for you. I know you don't want to hear this stuff. I don't like finding it out, but it's not a surprise. But if you know, guys, you got a fighting chance. All right. Take care, guys. Come back. Be part of this community. See ya.